ARESxGOD here, and I just gotta say, wow. Just wow. Finally watch Jujutsu Kaisen Zero and just wow. It's been amazing. Just not even the animation, that was just beyond amazing there, but the story, the characters, you guys know I love Jujutsu Kaisen. I've covered it in videos. I can't wait for season 2. But this one just felt, not only we had the characters we know, seeing them in the past, because this is a prequel. We had Gojo, the students, Maki, Panda. We finally get a lot of more explanation for Yuta, which has just been mentioned in the series. But this was his movie, his history, but also ties in quite a lot with the future of the series, especially with the way it ended, that last scene right there at the end, which I have a ton of questions, to say the least, but I'm blown away. I was glued watching it over here, and yeah. And I'm gonna have a small rant about movies towards the end of about anime movies towards the end of the video, but god damn. So let's get into it and talk about it. Now, at the beginning, I like how it starts very similar, with Yuji's backstory, but a lot more tragic. Because while Yuta's story really hits my weak spot with Rika, the way she died, for me, I get very, very emotional when an innocent character, like a very good, pure of heart character, I always get very emotional and tear up, dies, or bad things happen to them, they get abused and things like this. Is hits me quite a lot, even more on a personal level. But in this case, we have Yuta losing Rika, his childhood friends, which they made that promise to marry each other. Not really a promise, she can propose to him and he had no choice but to accept. They're perfect for each other. But Jujutsu Kaisen starts off as this funny, light-hearted series, the same way we happen with the main series, but then it just hits you like a hammer over the head with the tragedy. In this case, Rika losing her life in that car accident, but then gets turned into a curse, and this sort of shows it's the way in for Yuta into the Jujutsu world. Now he also closes in himself after that trauma that happened here, losing his best friend, his childhood friends, the love of his life. Maybe in the future over there, he even starts getting bullied, but because of what happened with her becoming a curse, things get even more tragic for him, because now her being a curse, she overprotects him, bullying back, to say the least, kind of mangling people, especially Downwood, which was very creepy in high school. I don't know, I'm sure there are people like that, but that dude needs some help. He doesn't need to be in school, he needs to see a doctor. Being very excited over punching a kid. We always have evil characters, deranged characters, villains that have a reason which they think they're the heroes of their own story. Even here we have a bit, even though he's deranged ghetto and we're gonna talk about him. But that dude, I don't know, I don't really like I mean, they're good characters, like they serve a purpose, but people who are like that need help, professional help, that bully dude. But here, like I said, Rika having this curse over him having no control over it, her, I don't even know what to call Rika, but her maybe, especially with the way it ended. Yeah, he has a lot of things to deal with, and I can't ignore the fact that there's very, very big similarities between Yuta and Shinji from Evangelion. The depression, the closing in on himself, shutting everybody out, blaming himself for everything, not dealing well with emotions, and also the same voice. I thought it was very similar, but it is definitely the same voice as Shinji. So yeah, Yuta Depression was his middle name, so to say, in this episode. But also him pushing forward, mainly thanks with Gojo, and I cannot stress enough, Gojo also has a very important role in the series overall, but even here in the movie, with bringing him into the school, protecting him the same way as he did with Yuji. I feel like I was watching the beginning of Jujutsu Kaisen, but from a different perspective over here, or an earlier beginning of the series, because Yuji, my bad, Yuta definitely has the makings of a main character. Would we ever see a side story maybe after the Yuji part is over with Yuta? I don't know, but 100% he can definitely be a main character. He has the tragic backstory, to say the least. He has the power, he has the mentor, he has everything. Even I really liked seeing the other students in their younger ages, with Maki, with Inumaki, with the panda, all of their interactions. Maki again being awesome. Every time she was on screen, she was stealing the show over there. We find out more tiny bits of information about all of them. The series ties in a lot better thanks to the movie. Things are starting to make sense a bit more, but also at the same time we get so many more questions, to say the least. We see Yuji's transitions from this very shy character to how he ended up in at the end of the movie. I hope we're gonna see more of him, especially towards season 2, which we're gonna talk more about that. But yeah, his first mission didn't really go out as planned, because even here we see the appearance of Geto, which I knew it was him ever since he picked up that ID card. The silhouette, it really looked like him. So it's kind of like the main villain of the story from what we've seen so far, which makes me have so many questions. But we're gonna get we're gonna get to that. Interferes with the first mission. Also, Yuta and Maki go together on their first mission, instructed by Gojo. They deal with it. It doesn't go according to plan, but they're still able to finish it thanks to Rika unleashing herself, or Yuta releasing her, and we see how powerful, how big she, like this. Would she be the strongest curse we've seen so far? Even stronger than Hanami and the others? Definitely stronger than Jugo. Let's be honest here, but I don't know. Would she be the strongest curse we've seen so far in Jujutsu Kaisen? Let me know in the comments below which curse do you think, like sentient curse. I'm not talking about the monstrosity one, like actual sentient, more powerful curses we've seen so far. And to say she's overprotective of Yuta would be an understatement. Even got jealous at some point over Maki. We're gonna get to that. So yeah, Geto interferes with their first mission. They succeed with Rick unleashing herself. They're kind of going Hulk smash on that curse over there in a way. Now, also the second mission, this one he had to go with Inumaki. Geto again interferes, even Gojo realizing later he was there, but this time he was instructed not to release Rika, because they could both be killed, because the higher ups kept interfering. I really don't like close-minded people, always stuck in the past, and this is why Gojo kind of had enough with them even more in the series. Probably this incident also reinforced his view and decision, how he views the higher ups, the traditions of the Jujutsu world, and maybe even more thanks to his connection with Geto, and we're definitely gonna touch more about that. So yeah, with working together with Inumaki, they succeed in that mission also. Of course, not that simple. I'm paraphrasing a bit. I don't wanna make this video way too long. To say the least, the training between them, Maki helping him, amazing. Just, and again, like I said, the animation was mind blowing over there, but slowly we see finally, because I had so many questions. Of course, with Utah, they have been answered this movie, except with the way it ended. We're gonna get to that. But Ghetto in the series, he was this mysterious guy working with those curses, kind of manipulating them, pushing them towards something. We didn't really know anything about him. Even at the end of the series, we didn't have any info. Who is he? What was he? Basically nothing. But here we see he was part of the school over there. I actually went to school with Gojo, and Gojo kind of said he was his best friend, his only friend. So this feels like they have a history there, to say the least. But you see him kind of being this deranged individual, quite a lot, having this hardline view, and kind of a hypocrite in a way, because he views like everybody that doesn't have curse power or being a Jujutsu sorcerer monkeys. He kept referring to them as monkeys, and he wants to create this perfect world only with sorcerers in there, no normal humans or monkeys as he calls them. But also at the same time, he's willing to kill sorcerers, be this evil dude, be the abuser that he has seen humans abuse sorcerers. So this is why I'm calling him a big hypocrite. He does the same things, but then also wants to have this perfect also, nah, you can't go about it like that, which this is why I kind of feel like Gojo went into the middle ground a bit, and we're gonna get to that at the end of the video. And after we see the first two missions, we have Ghetto coming in straight up with a declaration of war, but also threatening the students over there, using them as pawns, so Gojo couldn't act and kill them right there on the spot. I was actually thinking in that moment, why isn't he just straight up killing Ghetto? Like, he's Gojo, right? Just use those eyes, obliterate the dude away, and problem solved. But no, he couldn't protect everybody in that moment. And this is, after that we get more revealed about Ghetto with his power, how he works. He kind of has this cult also, and organization, using humans to his own benefits, extorting them for money, especially the rich ones, and when they can't pay anymore, he just tosses them aside. The way that guy died, being like a suction cup for curses, I wouldn't want to die like that. Just no thank you. Kind of treating them like drug addicts in a way. I'm gonna give you your first fix, but then you're gonna have to keep on paying me over here. So yeah, he has issues, to say the least. Now, one of my favorite interactions in the series here, which I like Maki quite a lot in the series. We saw her a bit more about herself, especially when she was younger. The school, the classroom interaction over here between him and Maki, the way they bonded there, and he probably didn't even realize when he said it how much it meant to her right there, because her entire life Maki has been seen like this outcast, failure, good for nothing. Her family, which I hope we're gonna get an arc related to her family and her past, finally dealing with it, getting over it, especially getting revenge on her father, sticking it to him. What he said in that moment, just giving her a compliment. I wish I was more like you. That just meant quite a lot for her, and probably for everybody else. We've all had similar things, maybe not at the same level of Maki, where people are trying to put you down, and somebody seeing you for who you are meant immensely there for Maki. And if she tried so hard to hide that she even went outside, you saw the blush on her face, still in denial. But yeah, that was a very, very nice scene into that classroom over there between them. Hopefully we're gonna see more of Maki. But yeah, overall, from after that point there, we finally see the war starting that was declared, the Demon Knight Parade, but that entire thing was just a distraction to get everybody in the sorcerer world, through all of the organizations, family, schools, and everything, get them in the same spot, so Geto could go after Yuta, because he wanted that curse. With his power, he wanted to absorb Rika and use that immense power that Rika had to shape the world to his own view. This is where Gojo realizes and sends back Panda and Inumaki, kind of like sacrifices in a way, but he also knew they weren't gonna die. I like that comment that he made at the end of the series, because he trusted his best friend. We're gonna get to that. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but I like how everything connected together over there. I'm glossing probably a lot of things over. I don't want to go step by step with everything. Again, the animation was amazing throughout the series. So many scenes also showing Gojo's eyes. Those things are probably national treasures over there. Just, you can get lost in those eyes. Let's be honest, to say the least. Now, we also have this Miguel dude, which I feel is gonna be important later on. He kind of held his own a bit against Gojo, thanks to this rope that was disrupting curse techniques. I don't know, maybe we're gonna see that one in the series also. Back at the school, Maki lost the fight very badly against Geto. Panda also lost over there. Inumaki also lost. So things were not going all that good, to say the least. So Geto was kind of having his plans coming to fruition. But this was the moment that Yuta kind of starts controlling more Rika, getting into his power, more of a rage moment, Geto pushing him over his limits, unleashing everything he could, going full power after him. And one curious thing, besides Rika and how powerful she is, which she is very powerful, and Yuta in himself, not just Rika, being very powerful, and him, since the beginning of the series, he didn't have any goal, which I liked quite a lot. Again, it's very similar with Shinji. Throughout, you see him finally getting a goal, trying to release Rika from the curse, kind of sensing he was the one that cursed her, and not her cursing him with haunting him in a way. So he kind of puts that blame on himself, which later on gets revealed that's very true, and we're gonna get to that. Now, Geto pushing him over his limits, and the animations, the emotions there, and the moment that I like that quite a lot when he came in before the fight with Geto, with Yuta coming in and saving the other three of his friends, Maki, Inumaki, and Panda, when he healed them. Great. How was he able to use that technique there? Reverse cursed usage, or that healing them. That's something to keep in mind, especially for the future of the series. But what I want to touch upon was when Rika got very jealous of Maki. It's always you, he always pays attention for you, and the reaction that Yuta had of treat her more gently than a flower over there. And you see how Rika kind of, this big curse, this tremendously powerful curse, just is still a child inside over there. Don't hate me, started crying, and he still loves her very, very much. I like that moment quite a lot, just still humanizing that curse over there, which tied it in quite nicely towards the end of the series. We saw all of the teachers fighting over there besides Gojo. Mai was there still fighting for the money, and that axe, oof, she's hot. She's very, very, very hot, Mai. Probably one of the hottest characters we've seen in Jujutsu Kaisen. I want her to murder me with that axe. Whoa, never mind. Yeah, Nanami being over there, Todo still being Todo, fighting this giant samurai curse, the others being the roles. I liked seeing all of the characters, just put the series into quite a lot more perspective, to say the least, in that battle royale they had over there. And it hit, the emotion hit quite a lot. Every time they showed Rika the past memories between them, how they met in the hospital, this is my weakness. Like I said, very innocent characters being killed and having bad things done to them, and even more by the fact he still loved her. While he was fighting Geto, he was willing to sacrifice himself for a moment of power, saying, I'm gonna give you everything, anything, this is for love, and willing to die along with her just for one moment of power to unleash her full power. And thanks to that, he wins the fight. He almost kills Geto, even though he tried to fuse all of the curses he had over there. Rika proved herself for her nickname that Geto gave her, or I don't know if somebody else gave her, the Queen of Curses. Oh yeah, he won that fight, but like he sacrificed everything. You know, it reminded me a bit of Bleach, and Bleach is coming back. Let's not forget that. A lot of similarities between Jujutsu and Bleach, a lot of inspiration. Not a bad thing, just the biggest form of flattery is copying over there, and I really like both of the series. So yeah, he wins the fight, but it felt like he was gonna lose something very, very important to him, but instead it turned out it was exactly what he wanted. Now, before we get to that, what I want to talk about quite a lot over here was the end, when we see that Geto survived and Gojo finally makes us back to the school, even mentioning that all of the kids or the other ones that were working for him escaped, which I was like, did they escape or did he let them escape, to say the least? Especially that one dude, Miguel, and that rope. We're gonna get to that. Now, what I'm really curious is the relationship, the history between Geto and Gojo. We see them, their school days, being their very good friends. Then they had a difference of opinion and how they went their separate ways, with how Geto started having that thinking that sorcerers are only the supreme ones, only they should be left, and Gojo didn't see things the same way as him. And it led them to this moment in time. Very good friends. We've seen it throughout many series, ending up in situation like this. Geto finally returning the ID card to of Yuta to Gojo. Now, what I'm really curious about, what was whispered there? What did Gojo whisper to him that even made him laugh before? Which I still think, which I don't know, that whisper, I'm very curious what he told him. Maybe on the same philosophy, I'm gonna change the world, but not in the way you wanted it, because we know that Gojo doesn't like the higher ups, how their traditions, how they're stuck in the past. He even now in the main series threatening them, keeping them in check. Especially we see the similarities with Yuta's, how he started even in the same execution room over there. Yuji also having the same execution room. Gojo being the protector both times. I'm really curious what he whispered there, and I would love to see more of their history. But we don't know what was whispered there, and it cuts, and we see the sound. I think that Gojo killed him, but also at the same time I like, okay, Gojo killed him, put an end to everything. How the fuck is he back in the series though? Because this is in the past. How is he alive if Gojo killed him there in the main series? How? Did he kill a clone? Did he turn into a curse himself? Somebody's pretending to be him? I don't know what's happening. How is Geto alive in the main series, and what was whispered? This is my biggest question after this series, and I cannot wait for season 2 so much. Just yeah, and I don't know, I'm gonna say this was better than Demon Slayer Infinity Train. Like, the animation, both had godlike animations, don't get me wrong. The fight at Infinity Train, Rengoku, everything was amazing over there. Love both series, but Jujutsu Kaisen 0 was a lot more for me, so to say. Both of them had the emotions. Probably Demon Slayer had a lot more emotions with Rengoku, but Jujutsu Kaisen kind of tied a lot more things. We saw more characters. The beginning was better. The history of Yuta, seeing the characters from the main series, to say the least, so like an overall better movie than Infinity Train. Not to take away anything from Infinity Train, but yeah, I have so many questions, especially the main one with how is Geto alive in the main series. If you've read the source material, please don't tell me in the comments. I'm gonna wait for season 2, even though I really wanna spoil myself. This is very hard for me. I usually don't get bothered by spoilers. They don't bother me at all. I actually go out of my way to look for them, but for things that I want to talk about, that I covered in videos, that I do videos on them, I don't want to spoil myself. I really need a lot of self-control to stop myself for going out of my way to look for them, because I don't want to fake things just and say, hey, I read it and I already know, or pretend I don't know, and things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna wait. It's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna have to wait. So if you've read the source material, please don't spoil it for me in the comments, pretty please. And as soon as I say this, I know somebody's gonna comment what happened, but yeah, please don't do it. So we finally see the end, so to say, with Rika, which got me teared up. Throughout the movies I got very emotional. Like I said, characters like Rika are my biggest weakness in anime series, and that promise or pact that Yuta made, be able to unlock her full power, allowed him to break the curse, not to exercise her, break the curse, and Rika finally returns to her normal form. And even goes explaining, this is how you break a curse, and if the party that was cursed doesn't look for a punishment, nothing bad is going to happen. You have an emotional goodbye there, and even Rika thanking him this past 5 or 6 years. You gave me more time, so thank you for that, and I'll see you again, but don't come too fast over here. So her soul is released from the world. That was very emotional. I like the scene quite a lot. The bubbles going in the air, her soul being free, was a bittersweet moment, to say the least. Even now I'm getting a bit emotional. These things get to me. Now, there's also an end credit scene which I wanted to talk a bit more about it, which I don't know what to think, especially related to the Whisper, especially with everything that Geto did. We see Yuta having dinner with Miguel, the dude with the rope. What the fuck is happening over here? How? Why? Why are they suddenly having dinner and being best friends? Why? And Gojo comes in there. Now everybody's friends after everything that happened. Why? How? How was Geto alive? I don't know. I'm left with so many questions. The movie, Yuta's characters, history, Rika, seeing all of the characters has been such a treat. I can't wait to get season 2, but also the questions are gonna drive me insane until you get season 2. But yeah, overall, an amazing experience. I highly recommend you guys check out Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I don't know if it's better to start with the movie or start with the series, but either way, you're gonna have a great time. Again, the animation, the soundtrack, the characters, the story, I could praise it all day long. And yeah, please do watch it. So let me know what you guys thought about the movie in the comments down below. And this is where, like I said, I wanted to have a small anime movie rant. Why does it take so long for things to come over here, for us to have them subbed, released on streaming, or even more in cinemas? I don't live in the US, which they still get it earlier, but still later than normal Japan release, which I totally understand. They release it first in Japan, but also I need they don't own me anything, but I would love for the anime industry to focus a bit more on the international side, especially with movies. Just remember how long we had to wait for the Demon Slayer one, for this one also. Here in Romania, we don't really get anime movies in cinema, so I usually have to wait until they're on streaming, which is quite a long time. But yeah, I would love for anime movies to get not the same day release as they get in Japan, but maybe 3 months would be nice. Maybe 5, come on, 3, 5 months over there. Please give us a bit better treatment on this front. Yeah, that would be really appreciated. So in closing thoughts, please watch Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm very excited for season 2. But until then, at least we're gonna have Bleach, which starts in a few weeks. So let me know what you guys thought about the movie. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Jujutsu and anime in general. See you again in the next one. Bye bye.